Hello everyone, this is Kim. I hope you all are doing well. I just wanted to pop in to say hello. And also I indicated in a previous video a couple months back that I would come on to talk about my breast cancer recurrence story. I did talk about the breast cancer, the initial diagnosis in a video, but I never made a video to talk about the recurrence. So my apologies. I'm not good at this, and it takes time and just all of that, but I need to make time for people who care and, in hopes that I can help someone. So, at any rate, let's talk about my recurrence story. So, again, I mentioned in a previous video that I was initially diagnosed with breast cancer almost 14 years ago. So, last year, though, in July, I received a diagnosis of a recurrence, unfortunately. And how this came about is something that I found once again, but I didn't think it was cancer. So if you go backwards, when I had cancer before, once I got through everything, my surgery, all of my treatments, and my hormone med, which was tamoxifen for 10 years, I never even thought about getting cancer again. I just thought I did everything that I was supposed to do. I am cured, well, not cured, but no evidence of disease. And I can go on about my life. So last year in around January, February. So let me go back. I'm sorry, I'm rushing a little bit. So I have implants. So after my surgery and just throughout my entire first breast cancer journey, I did have to have a full mastectomy, as I mentioned before, and I got implants. So I had implants. So in January of 2023, I noticed that there was an issue with my left implant. It just felt like there was some type of bubble or a knot or some type of rip on the left implant. So again, I didn't think anything about cancer. I just figured it was an issue with my implant. Okay. So I raised my hand about it sometime in February, maybe late February, early March, to my primary doctor, my OBGYN, I'm sorry. And what she did is she said, hey, let me get you over to a breast surgeon so that they can see what's going on, right? So I went to the breast surgeon sometime in March. And what he said, okay, maybe it isn't an issue, but I need to send you to have an MRI. He sent me to have an MRI sometime, maybe a week or so later, maybe in the middle of March, end of March, sometime around there in 2023. The radiologist did the MRI. And what happened is the results came back that the bubble that I thought was on my implant was a dermocyst. So a benign dermocyst, not malignant, no cancer at all. So when my breast surgeon gave me the news, he told me, hey, I trust the radiologist that this is only a benign cyst. It doesn't look like a cancer. In all reality, when I think back, I wish they would have done a biopsy for me, but they said they didn't do it because it didn't appear to look like a cancer. I just wish they would have done a biopsy, and I didn't even think about it at the time, just given my past history with cancer. Okay, that's fine. So since it was a dermocyst, he told me, hey, there's not a huge rush to get it out, but I do want to schedule a surgery to remove it because those benign dermocysts can turn into, they can get infected, and he didn't want me to have an infection. So what I did is I scheduled the surgery. This was in April. So I scheduled the surgery for some time, I want to say in July. I scheduled it for June. They didn't have an opening initially. They thought they did. So I had to have the surgery in July, around July 15th. So what he told me is, he said, but after the surgery, I still need to take whatever we take out, the cyst, and we'll do a pathology report just to make sure you're all good. But they kept assuring me that this was only a benign cyst. So July 15th or so, I had a surgery. Again, still, I wasn't worried. Let's just get this cyst out and I can move on with my life, right? So they did the surgery. Surgery went well. I got a call from him on July 24th. I want to say that was like a Monday or Tuesday, but I remember it so well. I answered the phone. Hello, hey, Dr. Weber. I'm just kind of excited just for, hearing the news that he confirmed that it was nothing. I can move on with my life. So I picked up the phone and he just became silent, and he paused and he said, you know what? I'm going to tell you some news. He said, but we're just as surprised as you will be. But the cyst that we thought was benign is a malignant tumor. So you have breast cancer again. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I just kept saying, like, are you serious? Like, how? I kept saying, how? And the reason I kept saying is because I just didn't understand how all of these months they've been saying that it was just a cyst, a benign cyst. And then he tells me that it's cancer. So, I was devastated. I couldn't even have tears right away, but I did cry, after I got off the phone with him. So it was just challenging. So from there, again, I have two sons. So at that time, well, now my sons are 27 and 15. So they were a year younger a year ago. So the scary part for me was, oh my God, did this cancer metastasize? Did this cancer metastasize? Just because I don't know how long it's just been sitting there, right? Am I dying? So immediately the doctors sent me to have a PET scan just to make sure, or to see if the cancer had gone anywhere else. And I did that, I want to say a few days later after I got the news. And thankfully the PET scan showed that it was still only local. I didn't have any, metastasis anywhere. But that was the start. That was the start of my second journey with breast cancer. So I'll end this video shortly just because I don't want it to get too long. So after that, I want to say that was July. So, of course, had to go do, different type of tests. In September of last year is when I started my first chemo. And that chemotherapy went all the way until November 28th. From there, it was the radiologist pretty much gave me an option whether or not I wanted to do radiation or not, which is weird, right? Like, I'm expecting them to tell me if I should do it. But the reason he gave me an option is because he told me that since it took so long for my cancer to come back, he just didn't have, he didn't feel like he had a reason to really put me through all of that again. Also, too, because the cancer is on the left, my heart is over here, even though he told me that there's a way during the radiation that they can do something to protect my heart. Again, this is my second time around. I just didn't want to deal with any other issues aside from the cancer. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little warm because I have hot flashes. So after this, so he gave me probably about a month or so to make a decision. I was kind of struggling with whether I should do radiation or not. But my final answer was no. I decided not to put my body through anything else. Again, with the statistics he gave me, I was comfortable enough to say, I'm not doing it. So did I make the right decision? I don't know. I'm hoping I did, and I'm praying that I did. I prayed about it, and it sat well with me that I didn't want to do radiation again. So just so that if there's anything, if you're fighting a cancer or anything, you have to be an advocate for yourself. You have to make the decision for yourself. No one can tell you you made the right decision, you made the wrong decision, because ultimately it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to live your life. If you pray, if you believe in a higher power, whether it's God, whatever you believe in, you just have to trust that you know yourself enough. And again, just make the decision that's best for you. So I will end the video now, but I will probably be back on just to let you all know how the Zoladex that I'll have to take, which is a shot to shut down my ovaries. I'll need to take that shot, I think probably 3 or 4 times in order to shut down my ovaries in order to get on a new type of hormone med, which is an aromatase inhibitor. And the one I'll be taking is called anastrozole. So I'll get back on and let you know how that goes and how it's going for me, if I have the crazy side effects that I hear about and that I'm scared about. But I promise I'll, pop back in sooner than I have been. Take care and have a great day, great evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye.